Okay, this tutorial will cover how to create and assign resources to activities in Microsoft Project 2010. So let's get started. So what is the value of a resource loaded schedule? Well, it gives you some information about what it would take in resources to complete the project as a whole, and also what the resource requirements are for each individual activity. It will also weight each activity for determination of percent complete of the project. This will help you build your progress curves. So we need to start by setting up a resource dictionary and then applying those resources to activities. What we're going to do is go to the lower right hand corner of the screen and you'll see some buttons down here. Right now we have the button selected for the Gantt chart. We're going to go over here to the resource sheet button and we're going to click on that. And you notice that the screen changes to the resource sheet. This is where we add our new resources, and our first resource is going to be contract labor. So we enter in the contract labor resource and we go cruise through the columns here. We have a choice of whether we call this resource work, material, or cost. Work is the appropriate selection for this. And we're going to have a crew of 5 guys, so we will select our maximum resource head count to be 5 units. And let's say we know some cost information about these contractors. Their rate is $30 an hour standard, and their overtime rate is going to be $45 an hour. Okay, we're going to accrue based on percent complete. If they're 50% done with the tasks, they accrue 50% of the labor cost. And their calendar is going to be a standard work calendar. So now that we've put in the labor resource, we're going to put in a material resource. Let's call this pipe. And pipe, the type will be material, and we will put in a cost per use. We will say that the total cost for our pipe installation is $20,000. And we're going to accrue that on a prorated basis. There again, the calendar doesn't apply, so we're not going to put a calendar there. We've put our resources in place, and we have set the maximum level for our labor. So we're going to go back over to the Gantt chart, and we're going to assign these resources to schedule activities. So we're going to bring up the details portion of the screen by clicking on the View tab in the upper left hand corner, and the ribbon folds out and there is a button here called Details. Click on that button and it brings up the bottom split screen view, and we're going to make sure that we have the work. There's 2 different choices here depending on your preference. You can choose the work layout, or you can choose the resources and predecessors, and I'm sorry, there's a third choice, resources and successors. But we want the resources part so that we can assign resources to activities. So when we highlight task 1, we're getting ready to load this with our resources. And we clicked on the column under resource name down here at the bottom of the screen and click the drop down, and we get some choices. We can choose contract labor, and that's what we're going to choose. In the units column, we'll say our whole crew is working on this activity. When we hit OK, it assigns the resource to that activity. It says based on the 30-day duration, 5 guys working 30 work days is going to generate 1,200 man-hours worth of work. Okay, let's go to the next task. Task 2, we'll have the same crew working on that task, and we'll put the whole crew there. And then task 3, we'll do the same thing. Contract labor, 5 units. Task 4, we'll put contract labor, the same crew size. And we will back up to task 3. Let's put our material cost on task 3. We're going to install $20,000 worth of pipe on task 3. Okay, so now we have our resource loaded schedule. It says that we have 2,600 man-hours total in the schedule. And notice this task 1 contains a lot of those man-hours. So when we complete that task, it looks like we're almost halfway done when we complete task 1. So let's go to the resource sheet and take a look and see if we have any over allocations of resource. Oh, look, see at the top it's highlighted in red. That means we have an over allocation and we should level that or fix it. So where is that allocation happening? Well, go back to the Gantt chart and you can see that we had a maximum crew of 5 people. So task 2 has the crew of 5 people. Task 3 has the crew of 5 people. Look at them on the Gantt chart. You see they're right on top of each other. So what this chart is telling me is that we need 10 people to do the work in this fashion. Well, watch what happens when I change the logic from start to finish to start. Okay, it bumped the date out, the finish date, but now we don't have an over allocation anymore because we can work those 5 guys on all the tasks separately. So anyway, this is how we resource load a schedule. This concludes our tutorial on creating a resource dictionary and assigning those resources to the tasks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.